Yo, what is up? Just wanted to briefly show how to use my new tool. Um, Hi, I'm back again. Please do not message me a bunch because I'm not going to be super active on socials, but wanted to release this new tool because it's pretty cool. We got some hot, fresh, real wares, if you will, um, here with the Dirichlet drift. Um, Pretty great stuff here. It's a wonderful OSINT tool for analysis of raw dumps. Basically file handling to the max. Anything you would want to do with gigabytes and or terabytes of files. It's really tough when you get these massive dumps. I think you know, anything, right? If you're just trying to sort through the most recent dump, you're going to end up with all this data. It's usually completely unstructured. And this is a tool set that I've been building probably over the last year and a half, 2 years, and refining quite a bit. Still actually need to plug in some of the other parts of it for you, aka we've got some various things like translation and a little bit cleaner output, as well as a actual GUI. But this is how I use it. It's pretty much exclusively via command line. It's really great. We've got sorting by file type for you. Then we've got topic modeling of file names. Here in the near future, I'll be adding in translation for like all major languages of file names, which is something that I think is very helpful. And then once you sort files by type, you get their file names, you run topic modeling on it, you end up with a flat file database, and you can query your flat file database by topic in order to turn what can be hundreds of thousands of documents into a quick search, a quick query, and then you're able to pop open documents that are related to a given topic. Obviously, you can, put the pieces together, do ABC yourself. A plus B plus C equals keys, right? Passwords, all that fun stuff that you're going to have inside of dumps. Anything, right? And also I use this on my own systems. It's pretty helpful. So check it out here. GitHub. I've still got my same GitHub. Twitter's gone, all that stuff, but still got my same GitHub. I'll let you read all this. I'm just going to quickly kind of show it while running it through payloads, all the things. Mostly because I just needed something to run this against, because I just don't have a bajillion freaking files chilling. Pretty simple, right? You can grab these commands off of there. Quick copy. We're just gonna run our script with the old Python. Not that. Boom. Go to run. And if you're running it fresh, this is a brand new VM, so obviously it's going to do all your installs for you. Don't have to run the requirements or anything like that. Just kind of wanted to make it pretty easy for you, so figured this would be the way to go. Nice. There we go. Sweet. And this, by the way, I have not had a lot of user testing on this, so we're going to keep open the GitHub, etc. Let me know if you have issues. I've run it locally. I've run it on a bunch of different machines. It works really well. This is obviously a Google Colab, which is obviously pretty hefty, right? But I've run it on quite a few different environments. We've run it on Ubuntu. We've run it on some other various distributions as well. I basically have zero trouble with it ever. I think the only trouble I've ever had is regarding the multi-core versus non-multi-core, which I actually put a fix in here for you, right? So you'll see here in a sec. Sometimes you'll have it run multi-core and non-multi-core, and it's going to actually choose for you. But either way, you're never going to have a huge slowdown. Later on, when I add the translation modules, you may see some changes, stuff like that. But anyways, all right, here's what we'll do after you just rerun the script, after you run your installs. Getting back into the actual script here now, and then this is your menu. Like I said, GUI is in the works. It's pretty much done. I'm not ready to release it yet. But it's kind of step by step, right? We're going to run step 1, sort files. Step 2, run our LDA analysis, which I probably should update the phrasing on that so it makes sense. So you don't have to understand what LDA is, but just FYI, LDA is latent Dirichlet allocation, which is basically topic modeling. using a AI/ML model, and this AI/ML model, it models topics, right, and assigns a topic, number of topics of your choosing, to a bucket of files that you put into it based on the file names. Does not actually go into the documents; it's all file name based, which I find actually to be quicker, really fast, less resource intensive, and still accomplishes most of the job. But here in the near future, we will be adding like pure topic modeling that truly goes inside of the documents themselves as well too. It's actually something I already have. I just don't feel like putting into this tool, but it does actually work. Anyways, we're going to choose option 1 for sorting. Post sorting tool, sorted directory. Pretty self-explanatory there. We're going to sort content, if I could type, things. Boom. And this is recursive, right? Obviously, because it needs to do various things. So we're going to grab txt files, and actually, since JPEG says JPEG there, we're going to do txts and JPEGs. And I'm going to grab PI files too, because it's payload all the things, so there's a ton of those in there. You can do any file types, honestly, that you want. I need to go through and actually find the full list, so we'll add that to the feature change. But you can do more than these 3. Like, there's other file types. I'm pretty sure you can do every single file type. I actually need to check. It's been a while since I made this specific tool that I tucked into this framework. But you should be able to do literally everything. So I'm mostly doing like docx's, right, and JPEGs and stuff like that if you're looking at like a very raw data dump. Anyways, I'm going to use these 3 as an example. And we're going to do a content. And I pretty much always put it into sorted. So the LDA script is not recursive, right? And that's for a lot of reasons, mostly because it would get crazy and the model gets nuts, and it turns into a lot. So I wanted to let you guys see this though. Like, look, this is already a wonderful sorting tool. Recursive, right? Gets everything done very, very easily, very quickly. And now we just have this very nice collection of what I like to call buckets. I'm a big bucket guy. I get tired of saying segment too much, so we're going to bucket our files into this bucket of sorted stuff. And now we're going to run our LDA analysis on our sorted shit here. Now, obviously, this is a pretty small sample set, but imagine you've got terabytes of files, right? Hundreds of thousands, 500-600,000 documents. Because, I mean, if you take a 3 or 4 terabyte hard drive, or series of hard drives, right, and you're going through a dump of that size, I mean, we're talking a huge amount of data with all the stuff that's going to be in your average, Windows system or whatever. And a lot of this is going to be just random system files and random garbage, and then you've got to recurse 100 different times to get into the random location that some idiot saved their stuff, right? If you're doing, we're talking like forensic reporting, right? If you're a forensic reporter, or a data detective, right? This stuff is a huge pain in the ass, and that's exactly why I made this. It's tough to go through someone else's files in the form of a dump, and find the stuff you want, and this will do that for you. So this sorting is extremely powerful. This sorting is, I've used this sorting, I think the largest I've used this sorting on is 10 terabytes, actually on a different data set. 10 terabytes, I was able to pull, I usually do like a selection of like just docs, right? So just do like docx, txt, .doc, all the various things, and then I'll usually do a bucket of docs, a bucket of spreadsheets, right? So all of our Excel files, CSVs, TSVs, and then I'll do a bucket of like PowerPoints, right? And then I'll do a bucket of images, and those are kind of the 4 or 5 buckets that I'll do each time. And I guess I could hard code those in here for us, but we'll try that out in the future. But yeah, anyways, that's kind of how I'll generally do it, right? Is it's go ahead and bucket it by files that humans use, and not the files that are just in a fucking system, right? Because if you're looking at a 2 terabyte dump or a 4 terabyte dump, the majority of that is not stuff that the people are actually using, right? It's going to be backups. It's going to be dumb shit. So that's where it gets kind of tricky, and the sorting is very powerful, and it's quick too. I have it set up to be multi-processed and all the fun, cool stuff that you can do to make that go faster. It's been tested too very well, so it does work quite well. All right, so after sorting, we're gonna move into LDA, which again is LDA is just your topic modeling. This is how you're mapping these files. Again, obviously I only have this very small bucket of sorted files, but again, pretend that we're dealing with terabytes of a drive, right? Terabyte size drive, and pretend we're dealing with 500,000 different files. We're just gonna copy this path and make my life a little bit easier. And obviously I cannot paste because fuck me. And boom, probably could have typed that a little bit faster. This is where it gets a little tricky, right? It's how many topics, and this is where you may need to go back through and do some trial and error. I generally keep it to 10, but we have a very, very small number of files here, so I'm not going to do 10. I'm going to probably do 5. So I usually keep it to 10. Sometimes I'll do 20. Like if I'm doing like 6 terabytes, which is going to be 800,000-900,000 different documents, etc., whatever. Once I sort them all out, in this case, I'm actually going to do probably like 20 in that case. But in this case, I'm just going to do 4, actually, just to keep a reasonable sample size. Sorry, I should probably fix the output on that. It's a little tricky, but anyways, it runs emojis. I don't know why I added these. This is the topics printed out. I should probably clean this up a little bit. I will say that this is a tool that's been almost entirely in my hands and a few other OSINT enthusiasts and forensic data detectives. I've only really given this to 3 or 4 different data detectives, so this is like brand new wares. But yeah, forensic. There's a couple of forensic reporters who have had access to this, and then myself. So we've all been pretty data centric, so we've been living in this. But anyways, you got your topics, right? We chose 4, so we've got 0 through 3. Equals 4, and then the topics are printed out here, the topic words, right? So we've got all these nice little topics, and these are the most common topics for these. God, I don't even know how to best describe this quickly, so I'm not gonna do it. These are the topics that your files are about, and you get to fucking choose shit about them. You get this file topics.csv flat file database, right? So in this case, it's going to be very small, but obviously, again, as you can imagine, in the case of a terabytes, right, a terabyte size dump. In the case of even hundreds of gigabytes, right, this flat file DB, as of right now, we feel like it's a wimpy little CSV, but if you're putting terabytes, hundreds of thousands worth of documents into here and then modeling them, we're talking a row for each file. We're looking at millions of rows. That's now a flat file database. This is very powerful stuff. You do have full access to this. If you are a data person yourself and you want to get fancy, you got full access to this. And I will say there's a lot that I personally do with the CSV. This is usually where I stop. And there's also a lot that you can do using other AI and ML as well too. So just FYI, super powerful CSV coming out of here. This is very, very helpful, and I often will put it into a MySQL database, to Beaver or whatever, right? Give it a CSV upload. You can accomplish a lot. This is my goal in most cases. But since you all are consumers, we have this very fun, nifty little PyLDavis, the output here, which is a HTML file. I'm going to go ahead and download it and pop it open here in a sec, so we can take a look at it. But it is interactive HTML visualization of all of our shit there. Let's see, hold on, let me save this somewhere where you all don't see it. Boom, open. There we go. Sweet. All right, so this is very cool. This is actually pretty standard stuff, right? I don't want to take credit for something that I did not specifically make. This is a part of PyLDavis package, which is PyLDA Viz package. This would be the Viz, right? And it's very nice. I really do like it. These are great. I do use this when I'm initially mapping a really large data set, but just FYI, right? Like this is something that's available, and I think for a lot of folks, this is the goal. as well too. Like the other folks I've passed this to, forensic reporters, other data detectives, other OSINT enthusiasts, this is what they're going for, right? This is very powerful stuff for them to look at. I'm not going to get into explanation of all this junk, but this is what it is, right? And we chose 4, and as you can see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 topics. You can choose 100 topics, and you'll have 100 little bubbles here. Some larger, they're sized by marginal topic distribution, so you will get sizing based upon quality, right, and what we're actually looking for. So really great stuff, right? And you can actually go through and kind of check some of this out. MySQL, Windows, yeah, super handy, super cool. And then at the end of each section that you run here, right, you're going back into this. So now this is my favorite part, which is going to be step 3, querying our LDA output database. Step 4, we actually just did step 4. Sorry, I can't use step 4 to open inside of Google Collaboratory here because it just won't like open. I'm not on a Ubuntu or whatever. So pretend that what I just did is actually step 4, where I downloaded and opened the file. But we're going to do step 3 here, which is actually, I think, honestly, the main, each part of this framework, right, as I like to call it, each part of this framework is a tool that I made to accomplish a separate goal, right? Like a sorting, the topic modeling, and LDA analysis. Those are 2 separate tools. Those are things that I actually made separate to do separate things, and then put them together. The querying is now its own. This is its own separate thing that I made as a command line tool for myself to accomplish a third goal. These are separate tools combined together, one big framework, to where you can eat alive massive data sets with no trouble. So for this, you want to, generally, you're going to have an idea, right? We're going to pretend that you have spent some time actually in the analysis part, right? You've gotten familiar with what you're dealing with, and you want to look for something, right? In this case, we're going to look for PHP, and this is again, you're in your command line, right? So you're looking for stuff that is PHP. JK, maybe we don't have PHP. Hold on. Let me scroll a little further. Do LFI. LFI, local file inclusion. Cool. Sweet. I got some sick fucking LFI stuff, except for none of it's actually payloads, I don't think. Anyways, sweet. So we got all the stuff we got, and now this is another part. Like as you can tell, right, I can't open files on Collaboratory here because it's a raw server. I can't just open files. This is meant to run on like Ubuntu desktop, right, or Kali, etc., right? Something where you can actually have a default app to open file types. But if you press the file number here, pretty self-explanatory, right? You can press 8, it'll open 8. I'm using XDG open, so I don't actually have a thing set to open that. But yeah, anyways, on a normal desktop environment, it will pop open the default app that is meant to open that file type, right? So if you got a JPEG, it's going to open up your image, whatever software. TXT is it's going to open up your mousepad, notepad, and then etc. Now this keeps going, right? So you can open up 100 different windows, 100 different files. I kind of set this to just keep rolling until you're done with it. You can do number 9, you can do number 10. Again, anyways, and then once you get done, you can hit back, and you can actually go back and search for another topic, right? So this is where it gets really powerful, right? Because you're opening up, keep in mind, I mean, you're starting out with terabytes and hundreds of thousands of documents or files, almost 60% of which is just complete garbage. You're running this tool on it, and then at the end of that process, you're just quickly querying and you're just typing in quick little numbers. And the GUI makes it actually even easier. I'm not a GUI guy, but the GUI does make this easier. That's actually why I started making the GUI. The GUI makes this way easier, right? Because you're clicking and opening. But you're just quickly looking for topics, not what's in a file. You're literally looking for topics, which is a little bit different, which I'm not going to get into explaining. But it's a little different than the search that you would do in a normal file explorer. This is not by the words, this is by the topics, and they're combined by that point. So it is valuable for that reason versus your normal file explorer, right? It's not quite the same. And yeah, so you can look for other things. I'm running a little long here, so I'm not going to do that actually. Oh shit! Actually, yeah, I forgot. One nice little tip is if you put in nothing for your topic, you get everything, which I guess do be kind of careful for that. Anyways, I'm gonna hit back. No, and that's how we go back to our main menu. Again, last option there, we went through sort, we went through running the analysis and topic modeling. We started querying, which obviously you're going to spend the majority of your time querying. Just FYI, you need to go back through and delete your files, your HTML and your flat file database. You need to delete these out, and I'll actually probably add in obviously a little prompt to just have that done. You need to delete these each time, or you need to operate in a different directory, right? Because if you come back in, it's going to be working on the same database, and you're not going to, you can't run like multiple LDAs. You can run multiple LDAs, but you need to delete your database each time. And I will 100% add a prompt to do that in the future. Anyways, I'm now exiting. Goodbye. JK, I hit 4, not 5. 5, I'm gonna exit. And yeah, that's my new tool. Super modular, super badass framework for analyzing massive amounts of raw data from dumps and or various other forensic analysis needs. Hang tight for the GUI in the near future. Hit me up if you have any questions about this, and then stay tuned for the not just the GUI, but stay tuned for like other stuff to be added in, because I will tell you right now, one of the things that I already use a lot, which would definitely go into probably step 2, right, and bump the others down, probably like another step 2 and bumping the others down would be translation. I have file name translation we're going to be adding in here shortly, which actually translate, because the LDA needs English, right? So I have translation that translates all these file names into every major language using a really great Mariana MT model. Really awesome. Another AI ML thing, super great. Super secure, running locally. And then another thing is the output, right? We have a little bit better output solution, which I will not give away right this second because it's going to be a cool part of the GUI. But anyways, yeah, hope you're having a good time watching this video. My name's Ben, and I'm a data hacker, integrated red team analyst, and please don't ask me about anything else other than this tool. Love you. Have a good one. Adios. Bye.